Hello, friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. All right, this is just going to kind of be a catch-up day a little bit. I got a few things I want to share with you. Basically, two pieces of information I want to give you. Both of them are really positive, so I'm really happy to share that after the whirlwind of emotions from the last week or so. Number one is about my mom. My mom continues to do well in her new apartment. And actually, yesterday, I got a call from her, actually last night, and she had two, like I said, the two pieces of information I'm going to share with you. First one was that for the first time since she's been in the apartment, she managed to get from her apartment all the way down to the cafeteria on her own. Now, she still uses a walker to do that, but she's got one of those kind of hybrid walkers that's a walker slash wheelchair kind of thing. And if there's somebody around, she actually kind of prefers to just have somebody push her from location to location. But since there was nobody around, she took it upon herself to get under the walker, and she walked out of the front door all the way down the hall into the elevator, took the elevator downstairs, and made it all the way to the cafeteria and back on her own. Now, she wasn't really on her own because on the first couple days that a new tenant is in this apartment, there will be a staff member or two that will remain with them all the time, just to, make sure that they know where everything is and know all the amenities that are available to tenants of the apartment, and just, kind of make sure that everything works out smoothly. So she was escorted all the way, but they didn't need to give her any help at all. And the truth is, my mom has done pretty well with the walker. Her big struggle is getting to her feet from time to time. And but once she's usually on her feet, she does pretty well walking around and getting places. In fact, that's what she did at the house too. She'd spend a lot of time in the walker chair, but when she needed to go from place to place, and it wasn't just someplace close where she could just kind of push with her feet in the chair, she would actually get up and walk from the front of the house to the back of the house or something like that. So the fact that she managed to do that and make it all the way from her apartment to the cafeteria was really positive news. We were really glad to hear that. And that just means that also gives her the confidence to know that she can do it. So that was really a good thing. We were really happy to hear that. The other thing that happened that was really positive involves my father. My mother yesterday afternoon got a telephone call from my father. Now, she was originally skeptical when she saw the phone, saw on the phone that it was him, because sometimes when he's a little bit out of it, he can be kind of all thumbs with the cell phone. And I'll tell you a little story with that. He had my mom's cell phone for a while because I think, as I've mentioned, my mom isn't really that tech savvy and has a little problem sometimes with her phone. And in this case, I kind of blame the phone itself, because the phone is supposed to be designed for, people that aren't that tech savvy, who just want to have, the basic features of a telephone without all the complexity that comes with like a smartphone today. But for some reason, this phone fails on several accounts. And one of them is when it comes to accessing voicemail. I don't even know why that is, because I have a full-on smartphone, top-of-the-line phone, or it was top of the line 6 months ago when I bought it. It's probably obsolete now. But when I access voicemail, I just got to go click the voicemail button, and boom, voicemail comes up. Everything's right there. I can check all my voicemails and all that. But it's really complicated to get into the voicemail system from my mom's phone. She's got to have a password to get into it. And like I said, my mom can be all thumbs when it comes to this thing. And I think that makes things frustrating for her, because when she thinks, she's already a little uncomfortable with the technology to begin with. And when she pushes a button and expects something to happen, and then something else happens, that doesn't help matters any. And as a result, she kind of tends to neglect her voicemail. And what ends up happening then is the voicemails accumulate until they fill up the mailbox, and then you can't add anymore. Well, she had my father try and correct that problem for her, because he's usually the person she goes to when she has problems. And at that point, he was kind of in one of his incoherent states too. And he was having all sorts of problems getting into it and trying to delete voicemails. And in fact, my sister, when I was there, my sister was telling me a story that happened about a week before they went to, we both went out to California to visit my parents, where about 5 in the morning, my sister got like 50 telephone calls from my mom, and she'd pick up the phone, there'd be nobody there. Well, it turns out that my father was working on the phone at that point, and in his kind of incoherent state was randomly dialing my sister multiple times. And of course, my sister didn't know that my dad had my mom's cell phone. So my sister, of course, was panicking, thinking that my mom had fallen, was on the ground, and couldn't do anything. And she'd call back on the phone and nobody would answer, but the calls would keep coming in. And so it was a little spooky at the time, but it just turned out that it was my father messing with the phone, and even he couldn't figure out how to delete the voicemails from this system. So eventually, when I got there, they handed it off to me and said, hey, you try and figure this out. And actually, at the time, on the day my father was going into surgery, he gave me his phone also, because in the process of messing with his own phone, he ended up deleting most of his contacts list, including my number, my sister's number, my mom's number, and basically just about everybody they knew. So he said, while I'm surgery, can you restore all that? So yeah, I basically just kind of copied numbers from my mom's phone into his, and got that all straightened out, and also got my mom's phone straightened out. We didn't even know what the password was to get into her phone, which was kind of crazy because, my parents use like 1 or 2 passwords on their phone, and I know what both those passwords are, and so I tried both of them and neither of them worked. I ended up having to ultimately call the cell phone company and reset the password so that we had a new one so I could get in there and then delete all of her old voicemails. And while we were doing while my dad was in surgery, my mom and I were reviewing all her old voicemails and figuring out, which ones to delete and all that. And, we got that all straightened out, got her voicemail all cleared out. And so yesterday my mom got so when my mom got the telephone call from my dad yesterday, she initially thought, oh, it's another one of these cases where he was fiddling around with his phone in an incoherent state and inadvertently dialed her. But when she picked up the phone, it was him on the phone. He has his breathing tube out, and he's talking again and doing very, very well. He is out of ICU and back up into one of the regular hospital rooms. I don't know if he's in his own room yet or sharing it with others. A lot of times he ends up sharing with another patient, but he is in his own room. The breathing tube has been removed and he is now talking again. So my mom spent a little time on the phone with him yesterday, and he is continuing to do very well. He's in positive spirits, and things continue to improve with him. So that's really good news on both fronts, and I was really happy to be able to hear that, and especially happy to be able to share that with all of you, because I know a lot of you have been praying and keeping him in your thoughts, and it's meant so much to us. So please keep it coming, because it's working and he continues to improve, and that's it. We're doing really well. So that is, I think, all that I have to talk about. Oh, I guess I can mention one other thing. Those of you on the Facebook page already know this, but Beth has taken custody of Flash. Flash is now hanging out at Beth's place and doing well. There were a couple of tense moments at the beginning when Beth's dog Moxie saw Flash for the first time, and Moxie has never seen a tortoise, so she's sitting there wondering, what the heck is it with this walking rock? And she was like not knowing what to think and was barking at Flash and all that. But from what I heard from Beth, Beth says that Moxie is now starting to get used to Flash and basically just kind of ignores her. So Flash is kind of settling in her new digs for a while. Beth made it a point to give her some strawberries, which Flash loves. And so she was doing really well devouring those. And I think Flash is going to be fine with Beth for the next couple months until I get a house. Now, one of the things I mentioned in the live stream that I did yesterday, and today is Sunday, so yesterday was Saturday for me. I know you're not going to probably see this one up until about Wednesday, but it doesn't mean I did a live stream on Tuesday. I'm talking about yesterday for me, not yesterday for you. I know it's confusing. I can't keep track of it either, but during that live stream, we started up a Facebook fan page like Jordan's Days with Jordan Lyon page. So if you'd like to join that, definitely go check it out. Go into the YouTube search engine, or go into the Facebook search engine and type Escaping the Mouse and request to join the group. If we know who you are, or if we know that you're from the site, we'll allow you into the group, and I'm going to make some exclusive content available on that, pictures and videos, maybe stuff like that. So check in on that. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. It's already a nice group. It's been going about 24 hours now. We have about 60 members, but there's room for you too. So definitely go check it out if you're on Facebook and would like to participate in that, because we'd like to have you be part of the group. And other than that, I think that's all I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.